I don't believe this. Came in off the tree and just look at this. Well, that is unbelievable. I haven't seen that in such a long time.
All right, everybody, welcome back to the Bogey or Better podcast. We are your bogey machines. I'm Cameron, and we have Dylan with us too. And we've got a great show for you today. We want to thank all of our listeners for coming back. We see that we've got a couple listeners outside of the United States, in Jamaica and Puerto Rico. So we appreciate all the support from everybody for our third episode. We have a milestone alert today that Dylan wants to share with you. So, Dylan, what milestone do we have to tell him about?
Well, it has nothing to do with me and my golf game. So it is Sunday today. So yesterday, Saturday, me and the wife went to Charwood, our local country club here, and this was her first round of golf ever. You know, we've been to the range a few times. You know, I got her some clubs. She's got her unicorn head cover that I posted on Instagram. She's psyched. She's getting into golf, which is great because that means I get to golf more too.
That's the key. Side point. People that want to golf more, if you get your wife into golfing,
exactly,
it just means you get to golf more.
Exactly. We get to the third hole. It's a uphill par 3. For her on the ladies' tees is about 110 yards. And she's like, what should I hit? Like a 4-iron? And I'm like, yeah, well, let's hit an 8. I think an 8 is a thing that's good.
Acceptable.
And yeah, and I am watching from the cart. And she takes a practice swing, and then she steps up. She hits it, and I mean, I hear the contact. It sounds good. I see it go in the air. It looks like it's going straight, but then I lose the ball in the trees. And Cam, I could have swore I heard a pin. And in my head, I'm thinking, nah.
It couldn't be.
I heard something. Yeah. Maybe she hit like a root or something, you know? So I start walking on the green, and I don't see the ball anywhere. I'm like, well, I mean, it seemed like she hit a pretty good shot unless, you know, it just was too far. And I keep walking on the green, and I bought her, before we got there, some purple tailor-made lady golf balls. I forget the name of the brand, but they're tailor-made. And sure enough, I see a purple hue right in the hole. First round of golf, and my wife gets a hole-in-one. On the third hole.
First par 3 she ever faces.
First par 3.
Opportunity.
Yeah. Literally, that's a good point. The first opportunity to get a hole-in-one.
Yeah. And
she gets it.
It's pretty impressive. I mean, it's incredibly impressive.
It's very impressive, and I celebrated with her. I picked her up. You know, I told her this was a big deal, and this was fantastic. But in my head, Cam, I started to just think about golf and how I should just quit. It kind of made me want to quit. Just a smidge, you know?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
It hurt my feelings a little bit. We've been playing you've been playing longer than me. I've been playing for over a decade, and all I have gotten is a lip out for a hole-in-one, and that is it. I guess that's how it goes, you know?
Yeah, I mean, I think when you look more at the most people that get hole-in-ones are the kind of newer golfers that just hit it up there with and they get a ton of roll and things like that. The golfers that play, you know, every week or at least once a month, they have to hit such a perfect shot because they're getting air under it. They're going to land it It's just a little different. And I mean, the odds for a hole-in-one for a regular golfer are 12,500 to 1. So
that's not as high as I thought.
It's not as high as you think, but you think how many times,
yeah,
do you play a par 3 per round, and then, you just have to play so much golf to get those chances up. But
not if you're Carly.
Yeah, or you can just do it on the first try.
Yeah. And you know what she said to me, Cam? She said, so I should just do that every time so I don't have to putt. And she was serious. Like, she wasn't joking. Like, the way she said it, I was like, yeah, that would be nice, honey.
I can't believe I've never thought of that. Just hit it in the hole from before it gets on the green.
Yeah, you don't have to putt.
Yeah, so easy. Like 130 out, just hit it in the hole. Don't be dumb and put it on the green.
Now, I have sunk it from about 120 yards for an eagle before.
Yeah.
Like on a par 5. But
it's just different because par 3s, we never have that short usually.
Right. Yeah.
It's, usually a par 3 from a white tee or, whatever your standard tee is going to be 150, 160. Some are lower, probably to 140, but it's just long enough where it's not a, you're not pitching it up there. You're putting a full swing on it. And I mean, when you play with thicker greens and a nice ball, it basically is just gonna stop where it lands. So you have to hit it right at it. The tour professionals, they play on greens that still get roll out of them. Mm-hmm. They don't really hit them dead. I mean, especially you look at like the Masters, like that. What numbered hole is it where you have to hit it really far up the green and it just rolls all the way back down? It's the one with the water that they skip over.
Yeah, it's somewhere in Amen's corner, like 12 or 13, something like that.
Yeah, and you see, so for them, like they hit and that ball has to roll all the way. So it's just different, So I guess all we have to do is just, stop playing golf and then re-pick it up and just par 3 right in the hole. That's all we got to do.
What did make me feel better about hers, though, is it was a really good shot. Like, she connected well. Like, it bounced, like, twice and rolled, I think. And it was a good shot. We have some buddies who have made a hole-in-one, and they've hit, like, a 5-iron on a 130-yard hole.
Yeah.
And thinned it, and it rolled into the hole somehow.
Where it's almost like they didn't deserve it.
Yeah, exactly.
You feel it, you're like, it should have been me.
Yeah.
Well... that was our milestone alert. We had to share that with you. That happened on Saturday. I was playing down in Charleston, having a fantastic round. And Dylan just had to top me with a hole-in-one, even though it wasn't from him. I'm just out there playing. And you know what, guys? I hit my driver, and I was on it. I was trying some new swing patterns with my driver, and I hit at least, probably 5 more fairways. And it was a very wide open course. I was down in Charleston. Very, very wide. So you could get a little loose with your driver. But, I mean, I shot a 77. And I had...
That's fantastic.
2 par 5s that I was pulling a low iron for. One was a low iron, a 9 iron to get on the green in 2, and then the second par 5 was a 6 iron, and I was on the green in 2. So it's just like, when you, if you can attack a par 5, go for it. I just never really been able to hit my driver before. But I'll tell you, Dylan, what I did was I worked on the adjustability of that driver head, because I told you I had messed with it a little bit before.
Right.
But I had it a little too closed, and it didn't feel very natural, and it really limited my ability to draw it if I needed to draw the driver, because it was set so close that you'd have to over loft it to open the face, and it didn't swing naturally. So I made it a little more neutral, but I added loft because I tend to hit the driver very low. so I can continue to swing the way I normally do and get more distance out of it. But with the more loft, I get less slice spin, and I was just hitting beauty cuts, tight cuts, and I had one drive. It was a par 4, 380 yards downhill. We posted where my ball ended up on Instagram, and I was about a yard or two from the green, from the tee box. And I'm sure I hit a cart path or something, because I'm not Kyle Berkshire, or however you pronounce his name. I can't drive the ball 380 yards. But it still ended up right by the green. So, I was just trying different things and finally hit a driver. And you had a good round too, on Saturday.
Yeah, I putted really well. Only played 9 holes and shot 4 over, which I can't remember. Is the front 9 a 35 or is it 36?
Yep.
35.
Yep.
Yeah. So a 39 is really tasty.
Mm-hmm.
I like to be in the 30s.
That's real nice.
Yeah. Let me tell you. So I got the M6 driver, and then I got that M6 3-wood.
Yeah.
I cannot miss with that 3-wood, dude.
That's always nice.
Yeah, that 3-wood is gonna be, I think, my savior, because the tight par 4s that are in Charwood and the shorter ones that kind of have those sharp dog legs.
Mm-hmm.
I'm putting it right in the fairway and 110 yards out.
Yeah, I noticed that when I was playing in Charleston, I was hitting my 3-wood, and I hit a beautiful 3-wood off the tee box, and I was still like an aggressive 5-iron to the hole, and it was a par 4.
Yeah.
And that's when it hit me like that I'm not playing Charwood anymore. So it just depends on your course that you like to play. If the hole plays a little longer, it's probably more advantageous to hit a driver if you can make some sort of contact.
Right.
Because, to hit a 5-iron on a small green in regulation is going to be tough.
Right.
But at Charwood, you can hit a 3-wood, not even super well, and be 8-9 iron away, which is those are the irons you want to be in. Even the par 5s are the same way. You can hit 2 3-woods and be right by the hole.
Even from the tips, I mean, it's not a long course.
No, but it's an enjoyable. That's a good course for really working on your low irons. So just know your course. Know what's going to be best for it. But there's
great. I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, that's how you really can score better, is just thinking about it a little more. What's worth the risks of one shot over another. And that'll, if you're trying to break 90 or trying to break 100, it's usually just 1 or 2 strokes that can help you do it. So what little mental thing can you do to just gain 1 extra stroke, things like that.
Right, yeah. And I was going to say, there's great golf in Charleston.
Yeah.
Like, in South Carolina, people always go for Myrtle Beach, which Myrtle Beach is fantastic as well. But there is great golf in Charleston. Every time I've played golf in Charleston, I have loved the course.
Yeah. Yeah, this course had phenomenal greens, pro-style, huge greens. And they rolled. Like, you did not get a ball to stick and set on the green unless it was a lob wedge. I hit a 6-iron, probably 190 away, and I landed before the hole, and it was on the green, but I landed before the hole, but it rolled to the back, and I was playing a nice ball. That's just the way that those greens are cut, But the putting was so nice because they were fast, but you just hit it and you would just let it roll. It really helped with green reading, and I told you yesterday that I didn't 3-putt at all on that round because of how nice the greens were. So sometimes if you're losing strokes on a course, it may not really be you. It just may be the course conditions are causing your problems. Because this course is harder than Charwood, but I played better because a lot nicer greens.
Yeah, eliminating 3 putts is absolutely key to lowering your score. Yeah, I mean, it makes such a huge difference.
Yeah. And I only made 1 birdie, so it's not like I putt. Right. I did putt very well, but I only sunk 1 of them. Mm-hmm. But I ended within a 1 foot radius or 2 foot radius of the hole, which I was tapping in. So for putting, don't go for the hit it firm and take the break out of it, because the faster your putts are, the less area of window that your ball can fit in. So hit a putt that you're okay with just being a foot past, because that opens up the hole and allows, if you're rolling in on the edge, it'll roll in, instead of if you hit it 2 feet past, that might lip out and not go in. And once it lips out, it could throw it further than you want it.
Yeah. Because, we're not going for birdie. Like I've said this before. We just want a chance at birdie. It can be a very, sketchy chance at birdie. We just want a chance to get it close, to have a nice, relaxing putt in for par. Yeah.
Yeah, even if you're chipping, like if you didn't hit the green in 2 and you're just like near the green, pick a club that, I've actually been chipping a lot with my my pitching wedge, or my A wedge, and I've liked it a lot because I get a lot more bump and run, and a lot more control than using like my 58 degree. I like my 58 degree when I'm a little bit further, because I can really get a nice swing on it. But the chance of you blading it, or for those that don't know, if you hit it with the bottom of your wedge and it just comes out straight as an arrow, when you have a pitching wedge, it takes that chance way out of it, but it goes a lot further. So it's just a nice little, like you're putting it with a iron, and I was able to land it really close every time and then putt it for par. So instead of trying to reach a hole, make that hole bigger, make it like a 2 foot by 2 foot hole, and hit for that, and you'll find that your scores are going to drop a lot, because instead of 3 putting for bogey and gaining a stroke, you're parring more than not. So give that a shot. Well, I know today we wanted to hear from Dylan, hear from you about your new rangefinder. We posted about it. I have one, and I use it all the time. But you've been using the old look at the stake that's by the cart path and guesstimate how far you are. So tell us about your new rangefinder.
Yeah. So like I said, I shot a 39 yesterday, Saturday, and I think I owe that a lot to the new rangefinder, because let me tell you, it is very convenient.
There's a reason why they can't use it on the tour, because it does help and gives an advantage.
Yeah. So for a while, I've been seeing on Instagram this ad for this company, Blue Tees rangefinder, and Bushnell offers the rangefinders that have the slope reading, and all of that. And I mean, I think the one with the slope is probably $400 to $500. I think.
Right. Yeah.
But Blue Tees was offering one with the vibration and the slope reading for $199.
Yeah, that's what I'm seeing on here. The Pro Slope golf.
Actually, I think right now for Labor Day it's $175.
Wow. That's a deal.
Yeah, and so I went ahead and went for it, and I bought it. It came in super fast shipping. I think like 3 to 4 days, I think. And I was very impressed. Just the feeling. Sorry, guys, my dog is going crazy. The feeling of just holding it, it just feels sturdy. It feels really nice. Now, I had a Bushnell last year, but it was stolen along with the rest of my clubs. And so I know exactly what a Bushnell feels like and what it looks like and all of that. And I mean, this company, Blue Tees, they're dangerous, because it is, the quality of it for the money is incredible. I mean, they could charge $400 for it, and it'd be worth it, I think. It has 3 different settings. you can do just, the straight point and shoot, and that'll just tell you the yardage straight up. And then you have the second setting where it shows you the middle point of the screen. It'll show you, the straight up yardage, but then at the bottom, it'll take in consideration of the slope, and we'll put that into the yardage as well.
Really?
Right. Yeah. So on the bottom, so let's say, like number 3 at Charwood,
Uphill.
it's an uphill, probably 140 yard hole.
Yeah.
So in the middle, it'll say 140 yards. At the bottom, it'll say it's actually playing 148 because of the uphill.
Wow.
Yeah. It's really cool. And it's very accurate. It's as accurate as you're going to get with a laser.
That's huge because and you can attest to, because I use my rangefinder. But having the slope makes a difference, because if it's, if you're shooting downhill, it's going to play longer, or it's going to, it's going to play shorter. So
downhill it'll play shorter. Yeah. You
want to not take as much club because the ball's going to fly longer. Uphill, It's the opposite. It's not going to fly as long, so you need to hit it a little farther. But I have an old rangefinder, a Bushnell, that works fantastic. And it's super accurate, gives me distance, no delay, but it doesn't have the slope. Now, I've been playing enough where I understand if it's uphill to do that myself, but for anybody else, for people that don't play that often, that's a really nice feature, because that's going to make a difference, because, how often do we really hit every shot on the green really exactly what we want to do? Not every time. But the ones that we do, we want to have the correct information. So if the hole is playing really 10 yards longer because of the slope, and you're thinking that it's 140 because it's 140 away, but you need to hit it 150, and you finally hit that iron right, perfect, right at the flag, right at you want it, and it's 10 yards short, and you're frustrated because you think you hit it short when you really didn't. If you had pulled a higher iron, you would have been right where you want to be. So.
Yeah. And honestly, if Blue Tees didn't exist and, the only thing really available was Bushnell, I wouldn't pay the extra money for the slope.
Yeah.
Because it's like I think they charge extra $250.
Yeah, it's a lot
for the slope. But for $200, yeah, I'll take the slope. They have Blue Tees has a regular rangefinder as well that just tells you the straight up yardage of point and shoot, and it's 125, I think, which is fantastic, because that's still way cheaper than any other rangefinder, I think, around, like big name at least. So because I've looked at reviews for certain other rangefinders on Amazon, and they don't really get that great of reviews. They kind of crap out on you after a little bit, and they're not very accurate. But from what I can tell from the first round of using it, Blue Tees is definitely the real deal, and I would definitely recommend it. Obviously, they're not sponsoring us, but it's a great piece of equipment to add to your bag for sure.
And if they'd like to, hit us up.
Yeah.
We got our email and our Instagram.
I can keep saying good things about them if they want to help us out. For sure.
I'd love to try one of their rangefinders. They actually liked that photo that we posted. So that was
really?
cool to see. Yeah.
Oh, nice.
It was nice to do that. Give them a shout out, because that's the thing. We're not sponsored by anybody. So when we tell you what we like, that's genuinely how we feel. Because it's just what we've done. We've played a lot of golf, and we've tried a lot of different things, and so thankfully you don't have to worry about us being sponsored. But so I think what we wanted to bring up was the fact that both of us just recently regripped our own clubs. You did yours today. I did mine a couple weeks ago, and I never knew this, but they say that it's recommended that you do this at least every year. I didn't know that was something that... I don't know if I would do that every year. I don't know if I play enough golf where it's worth it. But I have seen a difference.
They say every 40 rounds.
Well, then yeah. If you play once a week,
I just don't see I don't know. I don't think I would regrip my clubs every year.
Yeah, I'm interested to see how long these last because they aren't Golf Pride. They aren't
That's
nice
true.
ones. I got them on Amazon. It's a pack of, it was 13 or 15 because I had a couple more clubs. So it's 15 grips with the tape and the solvent and the knife for like $45. And they were mid-size. I learned that if you have an extra large glove size that you should probably use mid-size grips. So I got mid-size because I was having a problem with over gripping, and I feel it in my hands now. So getting the mid-size, you don't have to as much because there's a lot more surface area to hold on to. But it's actually not as difficult of a process as you might think. Because how many clubs did you do, Dylan? Did you do all of yours?
I am in the process of doing them. I've got like 4 or 5 left to do.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I mean, there's really nothing to it. It's pretty simple. If you go to, Dick's or, your local golf shop, you're going to spend $160 probably.
Yeah.
To get all your clubs regripped at once, depending on what grips you get. And yeah, I got the same ones you got. I just got their Lambkin, I think.
Oh yeah.
And
that's a nice brand.
Yeah, and multi-compound.
Yeah.
Grips are kind of like the Golf Pride ones.
Mm-hmm.
They feel just as good as Golf Pride, and they're much cheaper. Golf Pride is $10 a grip.
Yeah, that's where because you're going to spend at least if you get a Golf Pride grip, which they're good, but you're going to spend at least $130 just in the grips themselves, and then usually places charge like $3 to $4 a club to do it. So it just depends on what's worth for you. It does not. It took me about an hour and a half. And I did all of them. And I'd never done it before. It's simple. You cut the old grip off, and then you can peel the tape back depending on how. I've seen people not put any different tape because the grips are smaller than the shaft. So I've seen people do that.
Yeah.
I put a piece of tape around the old piece of tape.
I think that works for us because we have the mid-size grips.
Yeah.
So they're a little bigger. Yeah.
A little bigger. You have a lot more tension on it. And the tape that they gave me was like a webbing tape, real thin. Yep. So I just put it over the top because it wasn't worth time taking that off. And then you solvent the grip and the tape and slide it on. Now, I mean, you gotta aggressively put it on. But the more solvent you use, the easier it is to slide it on. And the solvent doesn't go bad, so you just save it. And you got to make sure that you keep the area clean because that solvent smells a little bit. It's not toxic or anything, but it's not fun if it gets on the ground. But I have seen a big change in the face control of my game so far, because I've got a lot tackier grips. I mean, where you grip the club is the most important part of your swing because it's the only connection you have with your golf club. So it's important that we do change them. Now, like I said, mine are new, so I don't know if it's going to be worth it 40 rounds from now to take them off and do it all over again. But, I mean, they were cheap ones, so it's not a big deal if I have to do it again. And I wanted to try mid-size grips without paying the big ticket price for really nice grips. So I got a cheaper brand to try them out. Because if I didn't like them, then it only cost me $40. Cut them off and then put nice ones on there, which I'll probably do anyways when these go bad. But if you haven't regripped your clubs ever, which that was me, I'd never done it. You'll realize how nice it is to have all that traction. Because I tend to slip a lot on the downswing from swinging too quickly, and that'll open the face right up and ruin everything. Yeah.
Doing it today, I don't think I will ever go back to going to a store and getting them regripped.
No.
I think because the price is so much cheaper. and it's not hard. And I think I'm going to go ahead and invest in it, and I'm going to get a little table and a vice grip, and just I'll do that every couple of years probably.
Yeah. Yeah, it's great. I mean, and until you get a new club and it doesn't match your grips, like it's not a big deal because you know how to do it.
Yep.
Your putter, you need a new grip on your putter, or you want to try a new grip. You know, all you really have to buy is the grip because you already have the solvent. You know, and with a putter grip, you don't have to worry about putting a new tape on because you're not swinging it really. I mean, you're just so just solvent the old grip will be fine. Because there's all kinds of putter grips, game improvement putter grips that might be worth it to you. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'll never take them in, even if I want to get nicer ones. I'll just do it myself because it's really simple. I came home after work, brought the clubs in, cleaned them up, and went to work. And like I said, it took me about probably everything I was done within an hour and a half.
Yeah. It's a workout on your hand now. You might need to take a break because your hand might cramp up a little bit. But,
forearms are gonna scream.
Yeah.
But that's the thing. Just if it's not going on, just add a little more of that solvent. Slides right real good.
Yeah.
But so yeah, I wanted to throw that out there for people that may be seeing if they've never regripped your clubs, it's definitely time. But it's not always nice to go out and spend all that money to have somebody do it. So just do it yourself. It's really easy. Tons of videos on how to do it. And it's all the same thing. So you don't have to worry about that.
Golf is an expensive hobby, guys. So we do everything we can to make an expensive hobby as cheaper as possible.
Yeah, and it's possible.
Sometimes you got to get your hands dirty.
Yep.
And sticky.
Make sure you clean the shafts after, too. Because obviously that solvent's got to go somewhere. So as it goes out, and it doesn't evaporate. So like one time I didn't do it on one of my clubs. So I pulled it out and I was holding it upside down and my hands were like, I'm like, what is this? And it had dripped down. And I just never had wiped that club off. And it was like 2 days later and it was still like there and solvent like. So clean them up when you're done, but then you'll be set. I think you have to wait at least like 30 minutes before you swing them. But I mean, that I just did them like 2 days before a round, and I haven't had any issues.
Yeah, I'm excited. I've never used midsize, but I mean, in Titleist gloves, I wear in double XL. Yeah. So you got really big grips. Hands. Yeah.
So, and that's good. You just have like bare hands, like thick ones. Yeah. So that's definitely going to be helpful.
I'm really too big to be playing golf, but I do enjoy it.
You do what you can.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's not too many I mean, John Rahm's pushing it a little bit.
Yeah, and Bryson's belly's getting a little big.
He's getting a little thick.
So Patrick shakes, Reed, man.
Yeah. There's a couple of them thick golfers out there.
Oh, yeah.
But, well, speaking of that,
not everyone can be Tiger and Rory McIlroy.
That is true. No matter how much we may think we can be, we're most likely not. But speaking of that, we got round 3 in progress of the Tour Championship. And I don't know about you, but it definitely got Dylan on Thursday when Dylan goes to look at the score and he sees Dustin Johnson is at -10 and just destroying everybody. And I don't think did you know that was the format, or did it just catch you by surprise?
Yeah, I just forgot. And honestly, he's so freaking good that I saw it and I was like, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah,
he's 10 under first round.
Yeah, why not? What if it? Yeah, 62. Who cares?
Yeah.
Yeah, because after his first round, he was technically like 13 under, and it was a funny picture I saw because he's just so non-expressive. And it was like a picture of him, and it says, when you shoot 13 under your first round and you don't have a 57. And it was just him being confused. It was really funny. But I actually like that format because it makes you want to do better in the FedEx Cup standings than just make it in. You know, at least it seemed like quite a big advantage, you know, over the 10 under to the 1 under. But I mean, he's only winning by 2, and then you've got Xander and Justin and John, like all within striking distance. And then a lot of people at -9 and -8 that are, I mean, you got a whole nother day. So what was a big advantage is, I mean, they're still close. So
yeah, Rory is at
minus
my
8 right now.
Pick. Rory is he at 8? So you made a bogey. You need to step it up.
Yeah.
He's
Sanjay
got a
M
new
was,
daddy power.
he does, except for
yeah.
all right. Now I'm going to ask everybody, how great did it feel to see him chunk it into the water? Did you see that?
I don't know what he was thinking trying to hit a wood out of that rough.
It was just like, and his swing looks great. It's one of the most beautiful swings in golf. But he just he says that he topped it. Basically, that in lesser words, he says he topped it. Which is hilarious.
Yeah, it makes me feel good.
Because it happened. I mean, this is the Tour Championship. And instead of him just taking a lesser wedge, putting it in the next fairway over the water, he went for it like we all do.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he's sitting there waiting for the green to clear because he's like, I'm going to hit this. We all do it. And then we just top the ball. And
I mean,
it's just how it goes.
Not only did he top it, he topped it
into the water. Yeah. That was the most that was the most bogey or better bogey machine type shot I've seen.
Yep.
And I loved every bit of it.
How about his daughter coming in clutch and being born the day before the tournament starts?
Right?
Poppy McElroy.
It's a beautiful name. Poppy is a fantastic name.
It is so Irish.
Yeah.
That obviously his wife isn't Irish, right?
I
His
don't
wife's
think
American.
so. Yeah.
Yeah. So he obviously got to choose the name.
Yeah. It's a beautiful name. Whenever I saw it, I was like, it's pretty. But yeah, I think my pick is going to be the solid pick. Justin Thomas is always a little scrappy one. He could sneak in there. Yeah. But I was surprised that the tournament ended tomorrow. I was fully thinking that we would record this with a winner. I was unaware of the shift. It felt weird Saturday watching, because I was playing golf, but watching the second round in it on Saturday. Like, it just didn't. My whole weekend is off now.
Yeah.
But I think we're set for a really good finish. We've got 4 guys really close. That if it ended today, that would be really nice. And then with 18 more holes to play tomorrow, it's going to be a nice finish.
Yeah. And speaking of tomorrow, we are playing tomorrow.
We are. I'm excited.
That'll be fun. I think me, you, and another buddy. And
Let's see if my driver.
He hasn't texted me back yet.
Has he still not?
No, I guess he dropped his phone in the water or something. I don't know. Like he didn't answer my phone call. Guys, you're trying to plan a golf day on Labor Day, and one of your foursome isn't returning your calls. That can, that gets to you a little bit.
I know I know he's
playing a good day of golf.
I know he's listened to this podcast. I don't know if he's a continuous listener. It'd be fantastic if he does, though, because he knows who he is.
I hope he hears it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he knows.
But maybe my driver will continue to hit. The putter worked out really well. Like I said, I'm really feeling this new putter. I'll put on at some point we'll do a review of this putter, because it is a game improvement putter. It's not from a brand that it's not a Ping or Scotty Cameron, or it's not one of those. It's made for improving your game. So
gotcha.
Maybe next week we can talk about that, advantages of that, because they come in a blade and a mallet. So we'll talk about it, because it works for everybody and it's not expensive. But let's see. Anything else you got to talk about, Dylan?
No. Did we want to go over my bag?
Yeah. Do you have it? You have it with you, or you know it? I know you know it pretty much by heart.
Yeah, I know pretty much what I got. So, all right, let's have a backstory first. So, let's rewind a year and a half ago. I had a nice little set going. I had all Ping. I had Ping, G30, driver 3-wood hybrid.
Yeah.
Then I had Ping I200 irons. And then I had my Titleist wedge set, SM7, 52, 56, 60 degree. and then a Scotty Cameron X Futura putter, mallet putter. And then I like a touch of the antique, so I had an antique leather ping bag.
Yeah, it was beautiful.
And in the midst of moving, and also in the midst of me basically being a little paralyzed because of my back injury, I didn't keep track of my clubs, and apparently in the midst of moving somehow those clubs were stolen. And
it's funny every time.
Oh, it's fantastic. And about 6 months later, I found the iron set at Play It Again Sports for sale.
So somebody had turned them in.
So somebody got a payday at Play It Again Sports, but they were sold before I could even do anything about it. But it's all right. So now we're working with. I got a pretty good set going. So I just bought TaylorMade M6 driver in 3-wood.
And what year did that come out? Do you know?
M6 is the newest M.
Okay, so it's brand new.
It came out in like 2019/2020.
So like before the Sim line?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So I think the Sim is technically like the, top quality.
Right.
And then they have the M6 and then they have the M5. Mm-hmm. And they both came out at the same time. M5 is less forgiving, but it does have more weights and everything to move around.
Gotcha.
M6, the only weight you have is it's not a weight, but you
adjustability.
Can change adjust the loft, and that's all I'm used to because the ping driver that I used to have, that's all it.
Yeah, that's all mine does.
I don't really care about changing the, to a draw or to a fade, the weight of the driver that way. I just like it square anyway. So I have that set at 9.5 right now, but I think I'm going to set it to 10.
Yeah.
And try that tomorrow. And so, then I've got the M6 3-wood, which I am not messing with right now. It feels very good. And I got a nice tight draw on it, and I'm loving that. And now my irons are very special. They are 2007 Cobra S9.
There are TikTok stars that are younger than them.
Yeah, exactly. And I think my dad found them at a garage sale. And it was missing the 9-iron.
Classic.
But found it on eBay and got that 9-iron, so it's a complete set now. And it's getting new grips, so they're going to feel brand new,
Yeah.
But here's the surprising part. I love the irons.
Yeah,
they
you hit
feel
them.
really good. I hit them well. I hit them straight. This is actually the first time I felt super confident with my low irons. Mm-hmm. So, and they're not, they're technically game improvement irons, but they're not much thicker than the i200s that I had.
Yeah.
So you can still move them around. You can still move the ball around with them. They're not very chunky. I really like them. Cobra hit it right on the head in 2007. Man, they were on fire.
They hit their peak 13 years ago.
Was Ricky Fowler even sponsored by Cobra or playing in the PGA Tour in 2007?
He had that long hair. He had that bright orange cap. That classic Ricky Fowler.
And then I just have a Cleveland RTX 56 degree that I picked up at Play It Again Sports. I like it.
Cleveland wedges are nice, though.
They are, but I think I'm going to go back to the Titleist. I think I'm going to get some SM7s again.
Yeah.
Because they're cheap. They're cheaper now because the SM8s just came out, and I just love. They look so good, and then looking down on them, they're so simple, and it just looks good.
Yeah. I agree.
So I think I'm gonna go back to and pick some of those up from eBay probably. And the saddest part of my clubs getting stolen by far is the Scotty Cameron X Futura putter. That putter was just beautiful and it felt so good. But after doing some research, I found a Wilson Staff putter that looked identical to the X Futura. And it's milled and all of that. And I bought it. It was $65.
Yeah.
Versus $350.
Yeah.
And it feels great. I love it. I love looking down on it. I am going to get a new grip because the grip on it right now, it's a little too big for my taste. But yeah, that's what I'm working with, and I got to add a couple more wedges, and I'll be set. I'm happy with them. I'm happy with my clubs for now.
You play good with them. I think too, like you were saying, any opportunities that we can to save money playing golf, because it is an expensive sport to get into. Don't get caught up in the new stuff. Like last year's models, 2 years ago models, even apparently 7 years ago models. Or 13 years ago.
13 years ago.
They still play well. There's a reason why they were made. Things do get better and more forgiving as the technology goes. But anything newer than what you have right now is going to be better. So take that into consideration.
Yeah.
And what's cool is, like you said, you found a putter that was similarly built and shaped like that $400 Scotty Cameron, and you putt very well with it. It gives you the same feel, and you spent $65. I mean, come on. If that saved money, how many rounds do you get out of that?
Right.
Especially at the twilight hours. Gotta love it. 5 o'clock. Ooh. Now that summer's rolling down. It's not technically fall yet, right?
No. It's close though.
I'll wait till Sarah tells me. I never know. It's hot all the time here, so we never actually know when it's winter or fall. But
it felt good this morning.
It did it. I was still down in Charleston. It was a little warm. We just made it back up
it felt
today.
Nice.
Well, I know we probably next week we'll go into my bag. They have not been stolen, so it's all what's been there. And we might have an announcement. Speaking of Wilson Staff, we'll have an announcement coming hopefully this week before the episode on a nice little project that we're gonna do with Wilson Staff. Not sponsored, just not sponsored by Wilson Staff, but something we wanted to do for guys that want to upgrade their clubs. So
very exciting.
Yeah, it'll be fun. A lot of content. We'll probably get some good videos out there. So keep and there will be some giveaways. We'll have some giveaways for our awesome listeners out there. So we want to thank you guys for supporting us. Keep listening. Spread the word. We appreciate all that you guys do. We love doing this podcast. Even if you guys didn't listen, we still love doing it. So the fact that you support us is even better.
Yeah, and please follow us on Instagram, Twitter.
We're going to have a YouTube coming up.
Yeah, YouTube coming up. All at Bogey or Better podcast.
Yeah, go check us out. But that's going to end it for today. We are the Bogey Machines, and we'll see you next week, guys.
All right, guys.